Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of our shooting program, and welcome to today's show. We have some entertaining things for you today. I think we have some information that a lot of us are going to be surprised to learn and see the results of some tests we're going to run. Anyway, we're so glad to have you. We welcome all our new viewers. If you don't know much about firearms, well, that's just fine, because we hope to teach you something here on the program. We certainly intend to. Well, friends, let's get another shooting show underway. You know, friends, it's always fun shooting reactive targets. Sometimes they fall over, sometimes they don't. But meanwhile, to reset them, you have to go down and certainly pick them up and reset them. Well, what about a target that when you shot it, it would react and reset itself? How about that? If you manage to hit them. Of course, that's part of the challenge. But friends, let me tell you what, this is what we opened the show with today. This is a new sponsor of ours on the program today. This is from the Shot Stop Target Systems Company. They're in Union, Missouri. And friends, trust me, this is one of the neatest things I have seen, because you don't have to walk down and reset your targets. You shoot one, it sets another one. This is such a neat idea. And brings it right back up. Let's take a closer look, show you how it works. Now, friends, this is one of the neatest systems that I have ever seen, for that matter. And you know what it does? It makes coming down on the range and shooting more fun. So you hit one plate and it automatically pops the one behind it up. Such a great idea. Of course, you reshoot the one behind it and it pops the one in front of it. This is really a quality piece of equipment. It comes complete with the stand. It is a complete shooting package, and trust me on this one, there are many hours of enjoyment on this terrific system from Shot Stop. Now, friends, it's put together with a very strong and durable system of, well, it's like a weight and counterweight. Very well made, very robust, but not so heavy as to be difficult to handle. Has different thicknesses available on your targets, and the other winds get a little much. And you can buy targets for different calibers. Now you'll see what happens. You'll get a splash in the paint from, we were shooting a 45 ACP here, get a splash in the paint, but hey, to fix that is just one spray away from your can of spray paint. You can choose your colors, you can paint them any color you want, and of course it just slides together and goes in place right here. Very simple, very rugged and durable. See, friends, they also make the frames here to hold paper targets, and this is really a great idea. And they'll also sell you paper. Cardboard just slips right down in place like so, and put it on the stand in front or back here, maybe wherever you'd like. Really an excellent idea. You can shoot the stop plates or you can shoot the paper, whichever you want to do. See, friends, a little spray paint. Paints take care of where you shot. You can do this between rounds, or if you're out here just practicing by yourself, you can do it at your convenience. These plates are made of such a rugged material that standard handgun calibers won't dent them, won't hurt them. This system is designed for many years of fun, and you know, friends, that's what it's all about, is to make shooting more fun. Now, we want to caution you, anytime we're out here shooting steel targets, regardless of what type, we always wear shooting glasses. For that matter, anytime we're on the range, there's just no excuse for not wearing shooting glasses. Eye protection is absolutely essential. If you can afford your gun and ammunition, you can afford eye protection and hearing protection. There's just no excuse for it. On steel, anytime we shoot steel targets, there's always a chance of a little bullet splash. I would recommend shooting these from at least 15 yards away, which I think is correct. So just to protect yourself, I don't care what sport you're involved in, there's always a chance of lose concentration if you're not paying attention to some sort of injury, whether you're playing tennis or anything else. So always, when we come to the range, without exception, we always wear eye protection and hearing protection. This is great fun. The shot stop target system, a great way to have fun and shoot, and also to improve your skills. Give them a call today. Here's how to get in touch with them. For information on the shot stop target systems, give them a call. A free call now, 1-800-444-2038. Again, get a pencil now. The shot stop target systems, 1-800-444-2038, and tell them you saw it on our shooting show. You know, friends, the other day I read a newspaper article about an area police force that is getting new .40 caliber handguns. And the statement that was made in the paper was that the .40 caliber had much more knockdown, that's quote, knockdown than a 9mm. Well, one, it appeared to me that either the chief did not know what he was talking about, and certainly we don't expect the reporters. It would be nice if the reporters knew what they were talking about. Most of the time they don't, or they don't care, or all of the above, I don't know which. But we decided that we would put on a small demonstration of just how much knockdown power that bullets have that are commonly encountered. Now what we've done here, we have a crude reincarnation here of a ballistic pendulum. So here's what I did. I've got some landscaping timbers here and have in fact, a trace chain off the farm here. Some of you may not know what a trace chain is, but it involves mules and pulling stuff. A trace chain there. And we have a 16-pound block of green oak wood, 10 inches in diameter, and it's about 10 inches deep there. Plus we have a hay string we took from a bale of hay, which was handy, of course, running out here to a half-gallon milk bottle, okay, and just a little bit of weight, just about a half pound of sand here in the milk bottle. And we have the sand, we have the string taut, not enough to pull our block here, but just where it's taut, we have a marker there. So theoretically, when we shoot the block, the impact will move our bottle here. Like I said, this is a crude reproduction of the ballistic pendulum, which was invented many years ago when people were trying to figure out how fast bullets went, long before chronographs, of course, long before electricity for that matter, and also the momentum that a given bullet might have. Now I've heard this before, when someone says, well, this caliber has all kinds of knockdown, or you see something on television, on another television show, not on this one, where you'll see an actor get shot with a blank, of course, and he'll go falling, stumbling back, trip over something, flip, do some backflips, whatever. And some of these ridiculous portrayals of gunshots in movies. And let's see what actually happened. We have our tape measure here, and go ahead and stop our block. See, it moves real easy. That's not a problem. We got it where it'll just swing freely here. Got our bottle set. Well, let's do this. Let's take a baseball bat. Talk about knockdown. And no, I'm not going to break my bat or the wrist here, but just give it a little tap. Well, it moved our bottle here all about 2.5 feet. And you saw I didn't hit it that hard. You know, I just gave it a little tap there. Sort of an infield run type thing, if even that. A little more than a bunt, but I'll just go ahead and stop our weight here. Put our bottle back against our marker. Now then, let's take our .44 Magnum, full charge loads. Our classic Hunter Smith & Wesson here. Yes, indeed. Shoot our water bottle, full power load. Watch what happens. Woo! Yes, full power load, literally exploding the water bottle. And I tell you what, it doesn't explode that water bottle from force of impact. Water is incompressible. Let's see what it does on this oak wood block, 16 pounds. See how much it moves. Same ammunition. Okay, let's get our tape measure. See, friends, it took, and we checked penetration tests a little earlier by sectioning one of these blocks, and that bullet is going about 2.5 inches deep in this green oak. Get our tape measure here. We pull our water bottle exactly a foot. Exactly 1 foot. We have our orange measuring device there. Well, see, friends, that's a 16-pound block. Now it moved a full charge 44 Magnum at 1,300 plus feet per second, 240 grain bullet. Moved a 16-pound wood block 1 foot. Now that's not too terrible much. I could have done the same thing or a lot more with that base. Heck, I moved it 2.5 feet with the baseball bat. Maybe by now something might be beginning to click in some of your heads that, you know, it's important where you shoot a game animal, or certainly in self-defense, where you might shoot someone who's attacking you. Well, let's try something else. Now the 44 Magnum, of course, 240 grain bullet. And let me get my tape measure again here. Keep it handy, we'll see what happens. Now here is our AR-15 shooting a 55 grain bullet at 3,150 feet per second with about 1,300 foot-pounds or so in that neighborhood of muzzle energy. And it won't come out the back. It'll all stop here in the wood block. See what it does. And put our gun on safe. Well, guess what, friends? Right through the middle, and no, it didn't come out the back. So that's your military round. Well, guess what? Let's put our Colt down here. Remember now, I just tapped that thing with a baseball bat, moved it 2.5 feet. How about 8 inches for a 55 grain bullet moving at, in fact, 3,150 feet per second? See, muzzle energy figures don't always tell the whole story. The weight of the bullet, the construction of the bullet, has a tremendous amount to do with it. You know, Carrie, I think it's as important for you ladies to know how to use these firearms as it is for us men. But you know, there's something else. We can have firearms for defense of our homes and certainly for sport, but we also need information. Yes, I agree. I think the New American Magazine is the best source of information available in this country. Well, I would certainly agree. The New American Magazine is the truth and nothing but the truth. And friends, if you would like to know what is really going on in this country and around the world, if you want, in fact, the truth, well, you need to get the New American Magazine. So here's how to do it. You can get the New American by calling 1-800-727-TRUE, and those numbers, of course, are 1-800-727-8783. The New American, $22 for a 6-month subscription. It comes twice a month. Now, friends, with your new Shootin' Show subscription, they will also send you a free copy of what the United Nations is bringing to all of us. So this is very important. Subscribe today. You know, friends, in times like these, which indeed are strange times, we certainly need our firearms, but we also need the information about what's really going on. Order today.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now friends, of course, here we're talking about momentum. This is an exercise that's showing momentum. But when we say knockdown, see, it's really a pretty foolish thing to say. Remember the laws of physics which say one action requires an equal and opposite reaction. So realize if you hit something hard enough, or you hit, let's say you shot something hard enough to knock a man down, which is commonly said, realize it would also have to knock the shooter down. Well, let's just see here. This is a 50 Action Express in our AMT Automag 5. Excuse me. And it has a 325 grain bullet moving at about 1,300, 1,350 feet per second for roughly the same amount of muzzle energy now, foot-pounds of energy, as our AR-15 with the 223. Let's see what happens when we shoot our 50 Action Express into our woodblock. Oh, guess what? Put our gun down. Swung it pretty good. Now then, realize that our AR-15 moved the block 8 inches. Okay, how about now move the wood block a little over 20 inches. Same amount of muzzle energy, roughly comparable, but that 325 grain bullet has so much more momentum, much more power. You could definitely hunt deer with your 50 Action Express, whereas you wouldn't want to hunt deer with a little 55 grain cartridge out of the 223, pretty much regardless of velocity. So 20 inches, not quite 3 times the amount of push that the AR-15 had. Well, let's go ahead and stop it. You realize even the 50 Action Express is not up to our baseball bat. So, in momentum. Just for fun, since we're here, let's try a 30-30 with a 150 grain bullet moving along at about 2,400 or so feet per second. See what happens. Well, 150 grain bullet, and it's empty. Almost 13 inches, so momentum-wise, we're still quite a bit behind that 325 grain bullet of the 50 Action Express. All right, just for fun, since we're here, talk about the great knockdown power of the 45 ACP. Well, let's take a military ball, 45 ACP, 230 grain bullet, see what it does. Well, and let's get our measure. About 8 inches. So we have that much momentum. Let's try the 9mm. And the standard ball loading. U.S. military round. Gonna stop. Got our marker here. See what the 9 does. Well, it'll come as no surprise. 3.5 inches, so a little bit less than half of the momentum of the 45 ACP according to our experiment today. Well, friends, we have a full charge 357 Magnum here, a 125 grain bullet, moving out of this 686 at 1,500 or so feet per second. Let's see what it does to our block of wood. Okay, well, let's get our measure here. Put our gun down. About 7.5 inches, not quite as much momentum as our 45 ACP, although it's pretty good. Now what we're saying here is we're showing momentum and raw hitting power. So it's been proven that the 357 Magnum and actual performance is among the very effective handgun calibers for defensive type work. But you can see you don't have a tremendous amount of momentum, about like a 45, due to almost doubling in velocity. But you have a lighter bullet, you have a 125 grain bullet. So we had about 7.5 inches there with the Corbon 357, which is a step above some of the others, just to give you an idea of what the 357 does. Now friends, to get back to our newspaper article where the police were talking about upgrading to the 40 from the 9, let's see what the Corbon 9 does, which is 115 grain jacketed hollow point bullet at 1,300 feet per second out of this little Ruger. Let's see what it does, and we'll compare it to a regular 40. Okay. Remember that our standard 9mm went about 3.5 inches. Okay, we have our 9mm Ruger on safe. Now then, the Corbon at the ultra high velocity moved at 8 inches, a little better than 8 inches, which was equal to our 45 ACP, which is pretty good. Okay, now then, let's try put our bottle back in place here. Let's try the 40 with the load that most of the police departments are going to carry, which is a 180 grain bullet, jacketed hollow point at about 950 or so feet per second. Not a Corbon load. This is what a lot of the police departments are going to be able to buy in large lots, and they won't spend the money for premium ammunition, so unfortunately this will be what a lot of them will be carrying. Okay. And our gun is safe. Sigma there. Well, guess what? Moved our wood block here, our 16-pound block, 7 inches, an inch less than the 9mm with the best ammunition available. So where are we? You know, how about knockdown? I don't think so. That's what a lot of people are going to. They're thinking by increasing the size of their board, they're going to get some kind of magic firearm or magic bullet. It just ain't so. Now then, let's try one more thing. Let's try the new Corbon 165 grain 45 ACP bullet at 1,250 feet per second. See what it does. Remember our 45, I believe, went 8 inches a little while ago. See what the new Corbon lightweight load does, but at very high velocity for a 45. Well, sure enough, Corbon's come through again. Our gun's on safe. Almost a foot. 11 inches or a little better. So we saw roughly a 50% increase in momentum over the standard military 230 grain hardball round. Of course, all rounds stayed in the wood block there. So yes, Corbon, of course, being the best ammunition available, will give your handgun quite a bit more power than with regular factory ammunition. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you're serious about shooting, especially about defensive shooting, and of course if you're a police officer or a security guard, or you have reason to believe that you may have someone in your home or your place of work or in your car that you'll have to defend yourself from, well, you ought to spend a little bit more money and get you some core bomb. It's not that much more expensive, and it's darn sure better ammunition.
You know, friends, it's rare in any field of manufacture that one particular company has a clear-cut advantage over the others. Well, in this case, it's Corbon Ammunition, Corbon Bullet Company, because they make the best handgun, long gun, and even some specialty caliber ammunition that's been real hard to get in the past. If you really want your handgun or rifle to perform at their absolute best, you need to find some Corbon ammunition. For information on where you can get Corbon, information on their product line, call them. Corbon Bullet Company, 1-800-626-7266. Again, give them a call. It's a free call, 1-800-626-7266. Trust me on this one. Corbon is the best there is. Friends, what do Jim Clark Sr., K. Clark Michalik, Jerry Michalik, and Jim Clark Jr. have in common? You can find them all at Clark Custom Guns in Princeton, Louisiana, one of the finest custom gun shops in the entire country. They offer all sorts of custom packages on 1911s and other semi-automatics, from race guns to custom carry guns. They also offer a number of different custom packages for the Ruger 1022, and also have some very economically priced new 1022s in stock. Clark Custom Guns also has a good stock of Ruger Security 6s in blue and stainless at good prices. Clark Custom Guns offers some of the best revolver packages available anywhere, including action jobs on your Smith & Wesson or some other fine revolvers. In addition to custom work, they also have a completely stocked gun shop, anything from bullets to powder to accessories that you might want. Clark Custom Guns offers some shooting classes. You need to call for availability. Friends, it's certainly good for the shooting show, but good for yourselves when you call and get a Clark Custom Guns catalog. They have all sorts of things listed about their products and services and excellent prices. Give them a call. Area 318-949-9884. Again, 318-949-9884. Clark Custom Guns, the complete custom gun shop. Give them a call today. Tell them you saw it on the shooting show. The Shooting Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now then, friends, let's talk about some real power. Let's take our 12-gauge shotgun here and shoot our block with some double-aught buck. Let's see what happens. Now watch our bottle down here. Okay, what we're seeing here is a lot like our baseball bat. How about 31 inches? So, of course, our block here is still moving. You can see what we keep talking about, where nothing can match a shotgun as far as certainly home defense. You have tremendous power, tremendous momentum. Now, 31 inches for a full load of double-aught buck. Let's try a slug, 1 ounce. Take one out of our stock here on our Mossberg 500, incidentally 590. This is a Mossberg 590. Yes, it holds 8 in the magazine tube. It holds 4 in the stock. Someone had called in, won't know what kind of 13-shot shotgun. It's not a 13 shooter, but it holds 8 in the magazine, 1 in the barrel, and you have 4 shells in this speed feed stock that are available for use if you want to load them right quick, whenever. This is the 590. This is the U.S. military shotgun, very reasonably priced. This one has the ghost ring sights for someone who wanted that information. It has the speed feed stock. This one has a Parkerized finish. So let's put a slug here, a 1-ounce slug, and watch our block, see what happens with the slug as compared to the load and double-aught buck. See, friends, we worked on our block here considerably. Let's go ahead and eject, and I had one in the magazine. Let's go ahead and take it out. Be sure our gun is safe here. There we go. Okay, yes, we know it's safe. Put the gun down. Now then, friends, I think you will agree that's pretty impressive performance. We're starting to see where the real power is. Okay, how about 35 inches? We moved our bottle. Tell you what, not only that, it shook the frame pretty well when we hit it. Believe me, our our wood block here is, well, we're shaking some of the bark off of it. Most impressive performance. I tell you what, it's held up real well considering everything we've thrown at it. Really strong performance from the slug. You know, I keep talking about the shotgun is the ultimate defensive weapon. I think that's been sort of demonstrated here. Realize that it doesn't make that much difference when it comes to handguns what you hit them with if you don't hit them in the right place. You know, we were talking about the 223 cartridge the other day. Those cartridges, the military cartridges, were actually designed to wound. And you'll see they don't have a tremendous amount or very little knockdown power, if you ask me. You see where the real power lies. My friends, you've often heard me say that inside the home, birdshot is among the very best loads for a shotgun because, one, it's not going to penetrate a tremendous number of walls or furniture or anything like that. And really what we're talking about is up close and personal defense. So we have some 7.5 birdshot here. Let's see what it does as far as momentum goes in comparison to our other thing. Well, guess what? Surprise, surprise. We'll unload it there. Okay. Worked on our target there pretty well. How about 27.5 inches? Well, see, friends, momentum-wise, up close, birdshot is not far behind buckshot or even slugs as far as momentum goes. So at the ranges which we would use a self-defense gun, see, that's a tremendous hit just from lowly birdshot. Now, if the distance had been double, the effect would not have been nearly the same because the small shot began to lose velocity rapidly. Okay, what's the point of all this? Well, the whole point is, literally, even this shotgun is not going to be big enough to literally blow something or someone off their feet if you had to use it in a defensive situation. And what we've learned here today is, what we've said dozens of times on the program, accuracy is of supreme importance. Regardless of whether you're shooting a handgun or even a shotgun, you have to hit for or aim for the right place. Center hits count. That's very, very important. And especially with the lower powered handguns like the 9mm or in a standard loading type thing or the 38 specials, realize that where the shots hit is of, again, supreme importance. You know, friends, unlike what the TV shows and movies show, when you're trying to defend your life,
and you compare it to someone getting shot there on stage, well, heck, they may have realized in the movies they're shooting blanks. You know, it's hard to see all these realistically staged scenes, or as realistic as they can make them, I suppose, and a blank goes off, man falls down. In real life, that may not be how it works. So especially if someone is drugged, and many times that's who we may have trouble with, someone is drugged. You ladies out there with 38 special revolvers, you got to pay attention here, because someone who's drugged and using alcohol out of control will probably be the person that will give you trouble anyway. So you've got to be able to hit your target. That's what is so important about learning to shoot your gun, learning to handle it properly. Getting down here on the range and learning to hit these targets consistently with as much speed as possible. Friends, that's what it's all about, because just remember, the law of physics there, for you to knock someone else down, whatever you were holding will have to knock you down too. Well, friends, let me tell you what, for those of you who've been looking at the new 7-shot Smith & Wesson, the 686 Plus, which is the 7-shot 357 Magnum, and you went out and tried to buy speed loaders and they weren't available, and you held off on buying the gun, especially if you're a police officer or a security guard, well, guess what? HKS has come to the rescue. They have the 7-shot speed loaders now that are available. They are shipping, and you can order them through your local gun shop, or certainly through your FFL, ever how you want to do it. But it's so simple. You just line up a couple of the holes and put them in place, twist a little knob, and you have 7 loaded. So personally, I was seeing that as a stopping point for a lot of people on buying these new 7-shot revolvers, because believe me, a 7-shot 357 Magnum is no joke. And we do appreciate the good folks at HKS sending us a couple of these for demonstration and for use. And yes, friends, they are out there. So if that's been holding you up from buying one of the new 7-shooters, well, head on down there to your gun shop and get you an HKS speed loader. And this one is number 587A for the new 686 Magnum Plus 7 shooter. So a good idea as times come, believe me. You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today. Well, friends, we hope you're enjoying our show this week. And we had a fax the other day from someone wanting a copy, wanting one of these No United Nations flags. And if you've got a pencil handy, I will give you that number. If you'd like to have one of these No More United Nations flags, you can call C.B. Clark Services at area 313-383-6744, area 313-383-6744, and get your own No More United Nations flags. Sir, how you doing?
Oh, fine. I'd like to see thousands of these things flying over the whole country. Johnny, I'm being constrained on time, and I got to be in bankruptcy court in a few minutes anyhow.
Not for you, but for one of your clients.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to point that out.
We went to the NRA meeting. I have a fax about it. They're very pleased. Neil Knox is elected first vice president, re-elected first vice president. Al Ross is second vice president. I guess that means that Neil Knox will succeed to the office of president sooner or later. Neil Knox had an article in one of the recent Shotgun News that was very interesting. You know, on about the 3rd page of Shotgun News, there's a sidebar running the length of the page of Neil Knox's article. And he was talking about Pat Buchanan going to a gun show in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And that disturbed the Treasury agents that were assigned to guard him very excessively, very excessively. And Neil said that frequently, or that usually anybody that comes within 100 yards of a presidential candidate with a gun gets hustled off to jail. And here Pat heads into a gun show where there are thousands of guns. And one of the people told one of the Secret Service agents, said, "Don't worry, Pat's safer here than anywhere else on this trip."
You know, you think that might mean that our friend Pat Buchanan might actually trust gun owners?
Well, certainly he does. Well, certainly he does, and there are precious few other people that do. The lady type agent that was in charge of that platoon sent them around picking up pointed wooden signs, taking the wooden sticks off of signs that said Pat Buchanan or anything else because they were dangerous. So here they've got people with guns all over. And admitted the guns were checked before they went in. They had plastic tags on them. But as Neil Knox said, fully loaded magazines were in every pocket. I guess that's the reason why nobody tries to hold up gun shows.
No, they'd never get out the door. Absolutely not.
Got a nice run from our friend Marv Schwanbeck.
So I think you have you actually have a copy, thanks to Mr. Swanbeck, of the terrorism bill, right?
Yeah, he also sent me a $3 bill with Bill Clinton's picture on it. This is it. This is the terrorism bill. 106 pages.
Somewhere there.
106 pages long. Single-spaced, small type. Outrageous. Just outrageous. Anything can't be said in 10 pages. Doesn't need to be said. Society in general gets itself so burdened down with laws that it's impossible for a person to move around without violating some of them. And that means that it's up to the government to decide who they want to persecute. And it's persecution when people who live an ordinary life and find themselves without any intent at all violating laws that are really redundant, have no business being there in the first place. Begun and held at the city of Washington on Wednesday, the 3rd day of January, 1996, the 104th Congress.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
We got some nice letters from people who have seen our show and have written in telling us so, and we appreciate those. I really don't have time to answer them. Catherine's working for me this week in the absence of a part-time secretary that I have, and I think she can tell you how completely burdened I am in time. I tell people I play mental hopscotch, jumping from one subject to another, and there's just no other way for me to practice law than to do that, and I just don't have time to answer a bunch of letters. I really don't have time to write a lot of the ones that I have to write. But we do appreciate the comments from people. We do appreciate the praise that comes in. And one of the letters, I wish I had it here with me, said that they had looked for this bill that gave away, or this executive order that gave away Yellowstone, and he couldn't find it, and he just wondered if somebody invented that as a verbal terrorism tactic. Now, Marv, I leave that to you. I know you're watching, and I wish you'd expound on that a little bit. I know you sent me a lot of stuff. but I haven't found anything specifically saying exactly what we said. And now, admittedly, I may have it because I haven't had time to look at it. But you apparently have the time and the willingness to do some of these things, so I check that one to you. And I wish that you lived close enough to Shreveport where we can get you on this show, because you obviously have just as strong feelings as I do on the subject of citizenship and the powers of government and the need for a limited government.
Well, that's really true, Judge. You know, you and I were talking, a day or so ago about, look what the government has done to us as far as taking away our firearms rights just in the past couple of years. Let's go back 25 years. Go back before 1968. And how much have situations improved? How much has the crime situation, the drug problem, all these things improved since they went on this massive effort to try and take firearms away from us as free Americans?
Well, firearms, of course, the availability of firearms reduces crime. Now, admittedly, there's some crimes that are committed with firearms, but those crimes would probably be committed anyhow, because it's illegal to have narcotics, but narcotics are all over the place. Every high school student can tell you where to find them. There are lots of other things that are illegal that occur, and I'm satisfied that, well, take the situation in Tasmania,
Yeah.
where firearms are totally prohibited, and yet some man kills how many people, was it?
32, I believe.
32
with a
people,
fire
and
also
used a
somewhere.
high-powered rifle to do it.
And they have very, very, like you said, the Australians have very, very limited access to guns at all, from what we understand. So, friends, people will find a way. And the problem, you know, just think about this: if somebody at the hotel had been armed and could have, you know, that's the thing. Just like Luby's Cafeteria, if one of those people had been armed, they could have stopped it. You know.
Well, presumably could have stopped it, or at least given him something else to think about.
That's true. Well,
And
friend, go ahead.
I want to talk about political candidates, and we're getting into the political season. We aren't finding people quite yet announcing for re-election, or some of them have. Of course, some of them think they own that office; they don't even have to announce for it. There's in this NRA Facts, the National Rifle Association comments that Clinton is driving pro-gun Democrats out of the party. President Clinton is proving once again there's little room, if any, in the Democratic Party for pro-gun supporters. Late last week, Don Fowler, Clinton's hand-picked chairman of the DNC, that's the Democratic National Committee, issued a press release claiming lawmakers who support the right to bear arms with their votes are in the NRA's pocket, and called on them to send NRA's money back and reject their extremist agenda. You know, that's a little bit silly, because NRA supports people that are already on our side. We don't buy politicians. We simply support politicians who think the same way we do. Unfortunately, at times we make mistakes on that, but we try. This is a terrific change of course, however, for a party that's given us staunch defenders of Harold Volkmer, of Bill Brewster of Oklahoma, John Dingell of Michigan, Sonny Montgomery in Mississippi, and thousands of others. But also, I say thousands, not thousands in Congress, but hundreds of others. And they are rapidly leaving the Democratic Party and going to the Republican Party. And I remember one of the defeated members of Congress, Democrat from last election cycle 2 years ago, said that he was unwilling to sacrifice another 40 or 50 congressmen on the altar of gun control.
Well, friends, much work has to be done, and like we've said often before, we have only just begun, because this is the way we can do it, is by showing the rest of America how we as gun owners and gun enthusiasts really are. And go ahead.
Incidentally, Johnny, that rifle that you're carrying there, what is it? Tell us about it.
Well, it's a Ruger 1022 modified by the good folks at Clark Custom Guns, and has a tremendous trigger and has a custom barrel there.
No indication of a militia or anything like that.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's your basic 22 semi-automatic carbine. Yeah, and you know what? I don't care if this is this Ruger 1022 or if it was an AR-15. Nothing at all would happen until someone pulls the trigger.
Incidentally, Johnny, what is a militia?
Well, a militia is a group of citizens of the U.S. of A. who are theoretically there on call for use by the established government to protect our country.
Well, who are the militia?
Well, we are, right?
As a matter of fact, one of our founding fathers said the militia is a whole body of the people except for a few politicians. In fact, in the United States statutes, the militia are all able-bodied, and I think it says males. It could be persons between certain ages, about 15 and 60 something, are automatically members of the militia of the United States. And in the Louisiana statutes, all able-bodied persons between those ages are members of the militia. So what is all the hullabaloo and fuss about the militia in the first place? Now, we're going to find bad eggs everywhere. Mm-hmm. We find bad eggs in politics. We find bad eggs in the Senate, in the House, sometimes in the presidency. And
now.
certainly we have some bad eggs as members of the public, the militia. The public is what it is. And so far as I know, there hasn't been any tie-in to any violent acts or any terroristic acts by any members of an organized militia group. Now, we have militia groups organized that we know about. In fact, as I was offered a commission in one of them, and when I insisted on knowing something more about them, they decided they didn't want me, and that suited me fine because I didn't want them. That still doesn't keep me from being a member of the militia of the state of Louisiana or of the United States of America, as you are.
Yes.
I guess I'm too old for it.
Probably not, sir. I believe you could get in on courage alone. Folks, stay tuned. We've only just begun.
You know, friends, one of the advantages of a .357 Magnum revolver, especially one like this 6-inch barrel 686 from Smith & Wesson, is they're fast to shoot with full power loads. 125 grain jacketed hollow point, 14, 1500 feet per second. Let's try that. We have our pro timer on here. Turn it on. We'll punch the timer, get in position. Okay, 1.31 second. Counting my reaction time. Not too bad. But you know what? A lot of people have .44 Magnum revolvers, and one of the things to be concerned about is you can't shoot a .44 Magnum rapidly enough. Take our target down here. There's a common complaint, which is true with full-powered ammunition, that they're very difficult to shoot rapidly and accurately. And plus, the full-charge .44 Magnum will have way too much penetration to be used in the average home defense situation. Put us a fresh target up here in our shot stop. Tell you what, I'm getting used to this. This is neat. This is so handy, I tell you. But carbines come to the rescue with a .44 Magnum load, which is a 180 grain bullet at about 1,200 or so, a little faster than that in this particular gun, 1,200 or so feet per second. And let's see, we had 5 shots in 1.31 seconds with our .357 Magnum. Let's try the new carbine, somewhat of a reduced loading, 180 grain bullet, better than any .40 caliber out there, certainly, that I'm aware of. 180 grain bullet at 1,200 plus feet per second out of our Model 29. See what it does. 1.31 for the .357. Well, how about 1.32 seconds for a .44 Magnum? So not enough to make any difference. And not a bad group. My first one's a little low, but the other 4 here, let's take a look at it. This was our 357 Magnum, but believe me, the 44 is really not that bad. Like I said, I have one that got out a little bit there, but still not bad, and all within an acceptable, way more than accurate enough for defense for what I'm talking about here. So that's an option that is brought to us by the good folks at Corbine. That will enable our 44 Magnum to become a first-rate defensive gun. And a lot of officers are carrying 44s out there. Some of them still do. And the highway patrol and that may run across an animal or an injured animal or something has to be dispatched quickly. And the 44 has a lot of advantages. So this is one that for defense, Corbine has come to the rescue with their 180 grain 44 Magnum, which is a first-rate defensive caliber.
Well, friends, we have some information I think you'll want to write down. We have a new phone system here for the program. You can call the Health Club 800 number. Any correspondence on the Health Club, you can call us 1-800-648-0129. That's code 33. Now, we also have a new shooting show phone number. You may want to write this down. Area 318-682-4218. Again, 318-682-4218. If you want to get a message to our shooting show office. Now then, for advertisement and general all-around use, you can talk to Bobby, our advertising director, at 1-800-728-8486. That's 1-800-SAVE-YOU-GUN. Again, 1-800-728-8486 for anything regarding advertising or other things in that area. You know, Carrie, I think it's as important for you ladies to know how to use these firearms as it is for us men. But you know, there's something else. We can have firearms for defense of our homes and certainly for sport, but we also need information.
Yes, I agree. I think the New American Magazine is the best source of information available in this country.
Well, I would certainly agree. The New American Magazine is the truth and nothing but the truth. And friends, if you would like to know what is really going on in this country and around the world, if you want, in fact, the truth, well, you need to get the New American Magazine. So here's how to do it. You can get the New American by calling 1-800-727-TRUE, and those numbers, of course, are 1-800-727-8783. The New American, $22 for a 6-month subscription. It comes twice a month. Now, friends, with your new Shootin' Show subscription, they will also send you a free copy of what the United Nations is bringing to all of us. So this is very important. Subscribe today. You know, friends, in times like these, which indeed are strange times, we certainly need our firearms, but we also need the information about what's really going on. Order today.